Welcome to this video. In this video we're going to be covering 4x4 basics. Now 4x4s have been around for quite a long time, over 100 years in fact. Here's a picture of the first 4x4 ever built in 1900 by Ferdinand Porsche, the man that started Porsche vehicles. Now what does 4x4 mean? It means that we've got 4 wheels and all 4 can get power, which gives us more traction in low traction circumstances. Let's just have a look. Here's a bucky layout for a 4x2. You've got your engine, your clutch, your gearbox, prop shaft, diff, and then your drive shafts that go to the back wheels. Now on a 4x4 you've got something that's extra and has been added. It's called a transfer gearbox or transfer case. Now, the transfer case sits on your gearbox and is responsible for transferring power to the front wheels. So, on a 4x4, you can drive in 2-wheel drive. Here we can see we've selected 2H, which is 2-wheel drive. And drive will only go to the back wheels. However, when we select 4-wheel drive, our transfer case is engaged. And now, power will go through the gearbox to the transfer case, to the front prop shaft, front diff, and ultimately the front drive shafts, giving you 4-wheel drive on all 4 wheels. The next thing we're going to discuss is gear ranges. So you'll see here we've got a 4-wheel drive selector, we've got H2, which is 2-wheel drive, high range, which means high speed, and low power. We've also got H4, which basically means that it's also high speed, but now all 4 wheels have got power. So you're not going to feel much of a difference between H2 and H4. However, you have basically doubled your traction. And lastly, we've got L4. Now L4 stands for low range. Once you've selected low range, the vehicle will move very slowly. It won't have a lot of speed, but it's got a lot of power. And that is very helpful in sticky situations. In fact, you've got so much power that you would basically be able to almost idle over any obstacle while you're in low range. So obviously you're not going to be using low range on tar roads or anything like that, but mostly in the bush where you've got tricky situations. The next section we're going to cover is on our differentials. So what is a differential? Here you can see a differential underneath the body of the vehicle. And the question is, what do we need differentials for? What is their purpose? Well, it's quite simple. When we're traveling in a straight line, both of our wheels move at the same speed or velocity, so they revolve at the same speed. However, what happens when we turn a corner? That's completely different. Here you can see the inner wheel only has to turn a little bit, while the outer wheel has to turn a lot. So our differential is there to allow your wheels to turn at different speeds. There is, however, a bit of an issue with this because the differential will always send power to the wheel that is the easiest to turn, as can be seen in this video. Here you can see a 4x4 going through a river, and if you watch the rear left wheel, you'll see as soon as it tries to go up the bank, the diff sends 100% power to that wheel because that's the easiest one to turn. And it doesn't matter how hard we hit the accelerator, the vehicle will not go forward. So this is where Diff Lock comes into play. Now Diff Lock is depicted by the symbol you can see on the switch, and what Diff Lock does is it locks the diff so that it distributes power 50% to the left, 50% to the right, no matter what the circumstances are. So here's the same 4x4 again, but now with Diff Lock engaged. And there you can see both wheels are spinning, both have got traction, and the vehicle can get over the obstacle. Just remember, if you are using Diff Lock, you need to ensure that you do not turn while using it. Because the diff has now locked the drive shafts and both wheels have to turn at the same speed, if you turn with Diff Lock on, you're going to damage your diff. The next section we're going to cover is driving angles. The first angle is your approach angle. Basically, your approach angle is the steepest angle you can climb up with the vehicle before it hits the frontmost portion of the vehicle, so in this case your bumper. You need to make sure that you understand what your approach angle is and what the capabilities of your vehicle are before attempting to climb up any obstacles. The second is your departure angle. So obviously if you're going up a hill, your vehicle is going to tilt up, and your departure angle is the steepest angle the vehicle can go up without touching the back bumper or your back tow bar, because that'll put you in a precarious position. And this is because your departure angle is usually less than your approach angle. And if you're going up something steep, the issue that you have is the back of the vehicle digs into the ground. Now you can't go up the obstacle, and unfortunately you can't reverse down either. So just take note of the angles on the vehicle. The last angle that we're going to discuss is your rock over angle. And your rock over angle is basically where the chassis is going to be touching the obstacle you're going over, and you're going to end up with your wheels in the air and no traction. So when attempting to get across obstacles, just keep your angles in mind so that you don't get into a situation where the vehicle is completely stuck and you cannot move. We hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, stay tuned for the next one.